Hi again, it's Barb. I thought I would give you a sample of my writing today. This is from Tao's story, which still isn't finished. This is just an excerpt partway through the first chapter. After a great meal and so much talking, she felt worn out. She heard Aaron call for her. She excused herself, left her celebration, and headed for the training grounds. When she arrived, she found Aaron sitting on the grass next to the kayu tree, which was now a fully mature tree from all the practicing. Aaron slumped against the trunk of the tree, head down, even as Tao approached her. She felt nothing from Aaron, no emotion, no thoughts. Thinking she was dead, Tao approached slowly, dreading what she might find. As she reached what she thought was a dead body, Aaron lifted her head. Tao jumped, surprised by the movement. She realized it was taking great effort for Aaron to close herself off from the rhythm. Summon the sphere, Aaron said flatly. Tao obeyed without questioning. Concentrate on your father. We need his exact location. Tao once again obeyed. Her father was on his knees looking into the reddish brown sky. His arms were outstretched above his head. He looked like he was in pain. It will take both of us to get to him. I will open the portal. You concentrate on where he is. Although confused, she did as she was instructed. She was concentrating so hard that she didn't even feel the dizziness of the portal. Instead, she found herself standing in front of her father. She could feel the good in him with a little bit of darkness and fear. He wrapped his arms around her, the orb of light dissipating. She tugged him in a tight embrace. She hugged him in a tight embrace. Shield now, Aaron yelled at her. Without thinking, she raised her shield around them. She looked at Aaron and saw the cause of the alarm. There were thousands of beings, almost as tall as they were, running toward them. Tao had never felt such fear and anger as she felt from them. Then she saw why they were so afraid as she watched a ball of light hit the city, which wasn't very far from the group of people. Many of them just evaporated in the light as it touched the ground. She could feel that they were gone. As she thought about escaping, she closed her eyes and found herself on the world with the humans. They were on a tiny island in a large blue sea. What have you done? Her father was angry again. You should have let me die. I couldn't do that. Sorry, get myself into the story and it makes me cry. I couldn't do that, and I needed your daughter's help to do this. She is more powerful than anyone I have ever met. Aaron shouted back, falling to her knees with the effort. There's still too much darkness in me, he said with emotion in his voice. If it spreads, it will destroy this world like it did Samud. Can you control it, Father? I am trying. It wants to consume you as it was me. Tao's father was surprised when she laughed. It wasn't a childish giggle, but a full laugh from deep down inside. The sound made him feel lighter somehow. It was as if someone released a million little butterflies that fluttered around his ears. He blinked. With the thought of the butterflies, they came. It was as if her skin turned into butterflies that lifted into the air, touching his skin. Aaron gasped in surprise. As they touched his skin, they began to fall to the ground, one by one. Tao's expression changed from light laughter to determination. She sent a sphere of light to surround him. The butterflies turned blue again, both inside the bubble and outside. They lifted off, swirling around him as if daring the darkness to kill them. Suddenly, as they started, they disappeared. She turned to Aaron. You disobeyed the Mari and used me. Atsi will carry out the punishment of the circuit for us both. Tao sat on the soft sand of the beach. I'm sorry, but I couldn't let him die, Aaron explained. It was my fault that he was consumed by the darkness. She sat next to Tao while Tao's father stood behind them, silent. My shield failed. I became frightened and my shield slipped, letting in the darkness. I was selfish, so I put up a shield around myself, but not before the darkness consumed him. As Aaron was explaining, Tao saw the whole battle in her mind. She could see the thick black ooze shooting out from the contorted figures that used to be the inhabitants of the red world of Samud. She could feel that Samud was alive then, screaming in pain, asking for help from the light. The ooze hit the shield that Aaron had up around them, covering the light with the darkness. She could feel Aaron's fright, saw the shield drop as her father was caught off guard while wielding a beam of light and love. The ooze covered him, causing him to fall. He continued to fight, trying to overcome the darkness as it seeped into him. Even as it did, the light in his heart fought back. She could see that the memory of her and her mother kept him fighting all those years that felt like days to him. He kept fighting and never gave up. Tao's tears added to the salty ocean that had crept up to lap at her feet. She felt even more love than ever for her father. As she sat there crying, she could feel Gaia shiver. She decided they had contaminated her after all. You'll have to buy the book to see how the rest of the chapter ends.